Hello, welcome back to Uncanny Adventures Twitch and our Skull and Shackles DnD5e campaign. We are back with our pirate crew who are sailing the high seas, getting accustomed to their new positions. They're moving into their 5th day of being members of the pirate crew on the Wormwood. And we're going to go around and say hello again and get back into the adventure. So we'll start with Dylan.
Oh, hey.
Surprise.
I'm Dylan. I play Bartholomew Ignatius Seacaster, who is a Sahuagin bard.
Sahuagin,
however you want to say it. It's a word.
It is a
for
word.
Sure. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Good times. And how about Brad?
Hi, I'm Brad, playing Mary Watersong, a Water Genasi wild magic sorcerer. Interested to see what kind of wild magic happens today.
Excellent. And PaladinHulk.
hello, I'm PaladinHulk, and I'm playing Hulk, who is a pirate and a paladin, which is a match made in heaven. You know, perfect, flawless.
In every way.
Yep.
Seamless interactions.
No conflict at all between those two things.
Nothing bad could happen. And how about Kat?
Hi, I'm Kat. I play Antoinette de Jong, and I last session stole a barrel of gunpowder to hide it somewhere on the ship.
That won't be a bad thing. No, it'll be good.
Oh my god, the last one we did. It's the most ominous of them all.
I'm not nervous at all. Not at all, no. All right, and I'm Jeanette. I am the DM of this adventure, and yes, hi. And so last time, the crew mostly spent their time sort of dealing with other members of the crew, kind of doing some getting to know you with some fellows maybe they hadn't talked to too much, trying to stay out of trouble. I don't know if they try to stay out of trouble. I think some of them do. But mostly it was a regular kind of day on the ship for the most part. Some, things were learned about maybe a little bit of Holt's past, and the group maybe bonded a little bit over this, shared information. Martin's has been keeping Cutthroat company and entertained, and apparently still is doing so. Cutthroat may have found a new best friend. So... also, just a quick to point out, if you want to help the group, I have donations where they can get advantage and disadvantaged, natural 20 or natural 1, and you can also give people healing potions to help them survive the dangers of the high seas. So just to remind everybody, because it's good to know if you have these things, currently Holt is holding a natural 20 and 2 advantages. Antoinette has 2 natural 20s, a natural 1, and an advantage. Bart is sitting on 2 natural 20s and an advantage. Currently, Mary doesn't have any nat 20s advantages or anything like that, so Mary's basically going on luck, which is very Mary. And I'm
Are we able to donate any of ours to Mary?
If you'd like to, you can pass them off.
All right.
Yeah. Also, Antoinette, you have a healing potion.
I do.
You do. Martin's has one as well, but that's in Martin's bag and is downstairs in the kitchen. And I'm sitting on 3 natural 1s and 5 naturals 20s currently. So we will we'll see what happens with those. Yeah, those 20s, man. It's almost like having my own stash of barrels with flammable powder in them. I don't know. So, we come back on our adventure on the morning of your 5th day at sea, and you awaken to the sound of the clock sounding overhead from the deck. All hands has to report for their morning duties. Everyone around you is rolling out of their bunks, pulling down their hammocks, tossing them near their lockers, and making their way for the stairs. As the rest of you look around at each other, you look over. Martin's bunk is still either already empty or still empty.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, he's not there. But
His lockbox is like bursting at the seams with stuff, but no.
So the bell is sounding, and you all wake up and look around. You are all sort of relegated toward the back of the lower hold, like at the far end, away from the stairs. The rest of the crew kind of had already claimed or sort of shuffled you back after your first day, because they've already jockeyed for positions for their hammocks at night.
Mm-hmm.
What do you all want to do?
Upstairs, cause
I want to keep an eye on the woman who said she was going to murder me in my sleep the moment she got, like, the okay.
So you give a sideways glance to
I forgot her name. I haven't got it written down.
Slippery Sill.
That's the one.
Yes, Slippery Sill, who, as you look, she's making her way up the stairs at the far end, but her eyes do seem to linger back into the hold, like, kind of twitching and looking around, before she is sort of rushed up the stairs with the rest of the crew heading for the deck.
So she's looking around, but not, like, specifically at me or any of the others.
No, she doesn't make, like, her eyes don't linger this morning, but she just sort of stops and does take a quick look before she moves on. The dwarf with the broken nose and that little crew is all kind of together as they make their way upstairs. Jaundice Jape, the large, silent fellow that was with them, the half-orc, he sort of lumbers behind them, taking up the rear of that group. Thump. You hear his feet. Thump, thump, thump.
Someone should fix his shoes.
Oh, shall we head upstairs then? So we don't get in trouble?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
a good
go
idea.
and head
Maybe
upstairs.
let's actually do that.
I go ahead to go up the stairs.
Excellent.
I assume like the other people on the ship are also doing this.
Yeah, all of the crew that's down here are all making their way upstairs as they pull their hammocks down from in between the masts, and they just sort of toss them in, and then keep heading upstairs.
I'll follow up in the rear.
Okay, so you all make your way up and up to 2 levels through the door and out onto the deck into the morning sun. It's another nice day. It looks like the sun is just sort of coming up. There's a couple individuals that are sort of coming down from setting the watch overnight and working in the rigging overnight. You see the captain is already up on the rear deck. He's kind of looking out with his spyglass, kind of out in the distance. And Master Scourge sort of walks up and down the deck looking at you all. And he starts to give out your assignments for the day. So, I need each of you to roll me a d6.
Cool.
No.
All right, so
All different.
it's true. So Fishguts wanders up to you, Bart, and he kind of wanders up with the biscuits for breakfast, and is kind of walking them around as he wobbles through. Let's see. He actually seems a little more clear-eyed this morning than, previous mornings. Like, he seems like he's, maybe gotten himself a decent night's sleep, and perhaps he hasn't hit his, stash of rum just yet this morning. So,
Martin's music.
He must feel awful.
he must indeed feel awful. He leans into you and says to you, Bart, quietly, "You're gonna have to butcher another one of those pigs, today. The captain..."
Run out of pigs.
Hmm?
We're gonna run out of pigs.
We'll probably have to make port sometime soon, but you're gonna have to butcher one of the pigs. The captain's having another special gathering of the officers tonight in his cabin.
All right.
So you're gonna have to make sure, to help me with the cooking for the meal, so you can't wander off today.
Aye, aye, sir.
Don't let Master Scourge send you on any other tasks.
I'll try.
Alright. So, meanwhile, Master Scourge walks up to Antoinette and Miri. Let's see.
Hi.
He gives you...
Hi, Master Scourge.
He gives you a sideways look. He looks like he has not slept as well. He looks like maybe he had a bit of a rough night. And he will look at Miri and say, so, now that you got all the rats out of the villages, I want you to go down and make sure that there's nothing else down there dangerous. And make sure they're clean, and make sure the chains are in good working order.
So you want me to hang out in the villages all day, Master Scourge?
Until they're spotless.
Okay. I can do that.
Me too, or just Mary?
He looks at you and he says, you.
Me, hi, me.
He points over at the ropes on deck that look like they're leftovers from the overnight shift. He goes, there, over there. I need you to clean up that mess, coil them up, knot them up where they're supposed to go, make sure everything's in order, make sure none of them's missing, and that's what you're going to do today. So you're in charge of inventory and my rope.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I go? Can you show me?
He points to, like, just a couple of, like, lengths of rope that are kind of, all sprayed out on the deck that look like somebody left them a mess from the night before. And he's like, right there, start over there.
All right. I meander over.
All right. And as that's going on, Mr. Plugg brings the riggers around, and he looks at Holt, and he says, what shall you do today? Aha.
Whatever you want.
He's like, you're going to play lookout today, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to get up there in my...
Oh, you mean it? I get to go in the crow's nest?
Yes?
Oh, that's amazing! Thank you so much. I'm not going to make you regret this. I'm gonna be the best lookout. This is gonna be the best day.
Mr. Plugg sort of takes a breath, like, okay, all right, you're gonna go up there. Here's your spyglass. And
Oh, I get an actual spyglass. You know, these are really expensive.
don't drop it. All right, and don't fall out of the nest. All right, he walks away. So, as you all are assigned your tasks, so you know, during the day, when you go to do your tasks, you have some options. So, you can work diligently at the task you've been given for the day, which will give you a bonus to the checks to do the job. You could use your time to try to get kind of in a conversation with or work with one of the other members of the crew and try to improve relationship. You could sneak away from your job and go do something else during that time. You could slip away and take some time to maybe shop in the store with Cutthroat, or you could just say the hell with it and shirk your duties completely, and you'll get some negatives to the checks for doing your tasks for the day.
Considering I already know the bilge is clean, I don't think I'm going to be cleaning the bilge again.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would like to go and start looking for some of his stuff.
Okay, so we'll start with Miri, and Miri's going to go shopping. So, Miri, you so you all disperse, and Miri heads for the door down to go below, while Holt is heading for the rigging to climb up, and
Hooray!
Antoinette is quickly surrounded by a lot of rope. In fact, some more rope is kind of tossed in your direction. So there's quite a pile of rope that's set that way. And Bart, you also head downstairs with Miri, but stop at the next deck down as you see the pigs all sleeping comfortably in their cages waiting for you. But Miri, so...
I'm gonna, before Miri and I split up,
Sure.
I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder and I'm gonna give him a bardic inspiration and say, good luck, my friend.
Why, thank you.
Very nice. All right, so... Miri, instead of continuing down to to the next deck below. The quartermaster store, is directly across the way and located inside, next to the galley, next to the kitchen.
Indeed.
You can both hear, Bart and Miri can hear the sound of Martin's playing coming from the kitchen again this morning.
I'm just going to let Bart go into the kitchen, and then I'm going to try the door.
All right. So as you go to the with Bart toward the kitchen and go over, he goes into the kitchen, and the door opens on the quartermaster store, and inside, kind of crammed in because the space isn't very large, Cutthroat is sitting on top of the largest chest in the room, leaned back against the wall, like eyes shut, lolling her head back and forth to music. And Martin's is kind of crammed on top of two chests in a corner, strumming away, playing. It looks over at you and kind of like, in the middle of a beat, kind of holds up the fingers like...
I wave at him.
He sort of...
And then I close the door.
The door shuts. You hear Martin saying, I think you have a guest, Cutthroat. And Cutthroat's like, what? Who's there?
Nobody.
I don't know a nobody. You hear step, and the door opens.
Hi, Cutthroat.
You're not nobody.
Well, depends on how you take that. I could be nobody.
What do you need?
I would like my stuff.
Your stuff.
Well, the stuff that I had on me when you so gallantly recruited me for this wonderful ship door duty.
Oh, well, that stuff has become the property of the captain, but should you wish to buy it back, I'm sure we can come to some kind of a deal.
Sure.
What exactly are you looking for?
Oh, let's see. My crossbow, a couple of daggers, my explorer's pack, some rope, and maybe more importantly, a couple of toy soldiers.
Oh, those toy soldiers. I've got a set of toy soldiers on hand.
Are they mine?
Well, not unless you buy them. And then they're yours.
Okay. How do we go about doing that?
Well, let's say that I think that these toy soldiers are worth... I would take 5 gold pieces for the set.
Dang.
5?
5.
How about 1?
1 gold piece?
One of them's broken.
Hang on. Goes over to the big trunk she was sitting on. She leans down. She looks over her shoulder. She leans in a little more closely. And then pops the trunk open. And then sort of like moves some stuff and pulls out the toy soldiers and puts them out. One of them's, well, I mean, you're right. One of them has taken some damage. You've obviously seen them in the store before. So, what if I go 2 gold pieces, 5 silver?
How about 2 gold?
Roll me a persuasion check. 2 gold.
Give a bardic inspiration if you want to use it.
Yeah, I think I will. That's extra?
D6.
D6.
Yep.
Aware off otherwise.
All right. So
Makes it 14.
she looks at them. She says, "All right. I'll give them to you for 2 gold pieces, because it's got some flaws to it. Now, if they were in perfect condition, I couldn't make this deal, but this way I can."
Certainly.
So she will take your gold and hand over the 2 toy soldiers.
That's some of my gold from my winnings the other night.
She smiles as she kind of bites the gold piece. and then puts them in a pouch. Ching.
What about my other things?
Oh, yes, so. Well, you said you were looking for a crossbow.
A light crossbow.
Oh.
With the bolts, of course.
Oh, light crossbow and the bolts. Alright, well. So for the light crossbow, 25 gold pieces. And I'll throw the bolts in with the 25 gold pieces.
Why are you joking with me?
What? With a light crossbow, that's a fair price for a light crossbow.
But it's used.
Alright, fine. I could go 15 gold pieces with the bolts.
I can't go any more than 5.
5 gold pieces. Martins kind of leans over and says, "This is one of my very good friends. Make a persuasion roll with advantage." As he smiles.
That doesn't make it cost more.
Hey, she's pretty sweet on Martins. This guy brings the nice music to the table. She looks at him and she's like, if I do good by your friend here, then you'll continue to play music for me." And he just nods and then looks at his fingers. Yeah. So she's all right. Seeing as you're new, I'll give you a new kind of discount. But it's like a one-time thing. So yeah, 5 gold pieces with the bolts. And I'll even throw in one of the daggers.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll hand over the 5 gold.
She will take all 5 gold pieces and digs under, pulls out the light crossbow, digs out.
Does she turn her back to me at any time?
Yeah, her back is to you while she's looking in the trunk.
As the trunk is open and her back is turned to me, I'm going to cast sleep.
Oh no, Cutthroat.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh boy.
All right. Let me find my character sheet.
This is when you use a natural 20 for the save.
There is no save.
Right.
It's true, it's hit points.
It is hit points. I can't make it. I can't force the decision
And I
on this
rolled
one.
pretty well.
You
I got
rolled
32.
pretty well. Let's
Alright,
see. Where
pretty
is
good.
Cutthroats? Cutthroats.
Gosh. That's
That's really good. Alright, so Cutthroat. Character sheet. So Cutthroat is leaning over into the chest and kind of slumps forward and falls asleep. Like, knees on the floor, upper torso all the way in the chest, and her head is like resting on top of a piece of armor that's kind of on top of the pile.
Alright, I'm going to go over to the chest and I'm going to start pulling stuff out. Such that I don't disturb Cutthroat.
You see Martin's, as you're going to do that, you see Martin's like start picking around since she's asleep on his own. Alright, so you're going to go and poke around in the chest?
Yep.
Alright, well your other items are all in there. So your rope...
I'm going to take them all.
Alright. Let's see.
This is bold.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I'm going to leave a stack of 10 more gold pieces on the floor next to her.
Nice. So in this chest is your items as well as a masterwork fiddle.
I'll take that.
3 flasks of acid.
I'll take those.
6 flasks of alchemist fire.
I'll take those.
Oh well.
4 sets of thieves' tools.
I'll take just one of those.
Okay. And there's a battered iron box at the in the bottom of the chest.
I gotta take that.
All right.
Okay.
So you pick up the little battered iron box. It's got like a little lock. It's kind of locked closed at the moment.
If only you had thieves' tools.
I happen to have those, as a matter of
Oh.
fact.
Do you want to try to open the little iron box?
Can I investigate it first to see if I can see any thoughts of a trap?
Sure, you can make an investigation check on it if you'd like to. All right, you kind of take a quick look at it. You don't see anything about it that makes you nervous that there's any kind of a danger to opening it.
Okay. I will attempt to open it then.
All right.
With my thieves' tools.
Are you proficient with thieves' tools?
I'm not.
All right, so roll me a dexterity check.
Dexterity check.
All right, you open the little box. The lock was not a very difficult lock, and there is a strange-looking candle inside. It's this sort of off-white candle that has gold leaf sort of painted all around going up it. It's about maybe 6 inches long. It looks like it's in pristine condition, like it's never been used. But it's a very nice looking candle.
I'll close the box and I will slide the box into my stuff.
All right.
Like a candle of forest fires or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like the moment you light it, it's just like inferno.
And I will go and I will put all of this stuff into my footlocker and lock it up.
All right. So you leave the quartermaster store and go down below decks to your footlocker and put the items away. How long does sleep last for?
It lasts until they take damage or somebody intentionally tries to wake them up.
Right. As you leave, Martins just closes the door behind you.
It does say 1 minute, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
So
You notice that all the gold you left is now in Martin's pocket.
That's not my problem.
Yeah, I mean,
all right. So meanwhile, so Miri is obviously shirking his duties there. So I'm gonna have Miri. Let's see.
No duties to be done. We did it yesterday.
This is true. So
we went spotless yesterday.
thanks to Holt. So
Yeah.
Taking advantage.
that's true. So I will have you just go ahead and you know what? Because of Holt's work the day before, you kind of get away with no checks on that today.
Oh, very nice.
There's really nothing about the checks that you would have. So you just basically can kind of ride the wave of Holt's good deed going forward. All right.
This is such a badly mismanaged ship.
Very much.
I don't understand how they are still running. I don't get it.
Well, speaking of that, so Antoinette, why don't we?
Hi.
So, what is Antoinette's plan for the day? As you were left with
Well-
all these ropes.
So you say that there's a lot of ropes, and more ropes have since been added, and more are being shot. So I just need to roll these up, yeah?
So your task is basically roll them up and then knot them off and make sure that they're put away where they're supposed to go, so they're out of the way and in good order.
Right, okay, so Antoinette doesn't know how to make knots. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Like, how would she? Keeping that in mind, how long would it take her to do, give me some idea with the amount of ropes that are there.
Well, what is there right now would probably only take an hour or two to kind of get all done, because some of these ropes are bigger, some of them are a little bit smaller. But as you do start working wrapping the first ones, they throw
Yeah.
more kind of at you, or someone will come over
How
and
dare they?
someone will come over and take some of the rope that you were just gonna go and like work with, or like one of your rope bundles you just did, they wander off with it to use it for something else, and they bring back and they just toss it down like people do, like say with an air hose when they fill their tires, and they just toss
Alright.
it back without taking care of it.
So people take the ropes which are not tied up properly. They just take any old rope they can find.
It seems like, yeah, they come over to take like whatever size rope they need for whatever task they're moving
I
on to.
reiterate my point from about 2 minutes ago. What is the point and how is the ship run? I don't understand. Why do we need to tie up the ropes? Would it be convincing enough if I were to just sort of pile them on a pile?
I would say that would be maybe shirking your job a little bit, so you would get some negatives to the roll for the job, but it's possible to do that and get away with it.
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna make a pile
All right.
and just sort of shove them a bit together so it looks a little less messy. But considering it doesn't seem like they care if they're actually like rolled up and knotted, and Antoinette doesn't know how to make knots. I'm just gonna do that.
All right. So I'm going to have you make me a strength roll.
She has no strength.
That's fair.
Okay. This is another reason. This is the worst task for her, I think. The core. -1 on strength. Yeah.
All right. So you're doing that, but after moving a handful of these bigger coils of rope, you it's hard to make it look that neat. Your pile eventually sort of looks like a big kind of heaping mess. You notice Master Scourge sort of giving you kind of a side eye, like not impressed with that pile that you're creating, and it's actually taking you a lot longer to move them because they keep kind of winding out behind you and have to go collect the extra bits and bobs that are going on the deck. So
I kick the pile in frustration.
and also do me a favor and roll me a Constitution check.
Okay. Constitution.
All right, cool. So you work at this, even though you're trying to get away with not doing as good of a job. You actually it takes a lot of effort to do this badly. So by the end of your day, you are going to take a point of exhaustion.
Oh, boy. Aw.
Oh my god. Is this one of those crime doesn't pay things? Like, just do the normal thing and you would have a good time.
It's true.
I'm frustrated, but this is the path I have chosen.
It is the path. All right. So as that's going on, so Holt, you have been assigned the task of climbing up into the crow's nest and keeping watch. So the first thing I'm going to ask is, what are you doing? Are you going to work diligently or do something else about this today?
I'm actually not gonna work diligently because, like, he would work diligently if it was something that you could work diligently at, but you just sit there and you look around, and then you could keep looking around, but you're pretty sure nothing's changed in those 5 seconds. So, for most of the day, he spends his time spying on the rest of the ship.
I see. All right. So first I'm going to have you roll me just roll me a dexterity check to as you're climbing up to get up to the crow's nest.
So, like an athletics check for climbing?
Sure.
All right.
Oh gosh.
All right.
Wasn't.
So you actually struggle a little bit going up, and
Because I have the spyglass. Hard to climb.
and your foot sort of catches at one point as you're going up, and you almost take a tumble backward down the rigging when you feel yourself kind of fetched up from the side, and you look over and you see Conchabar, the gnome, with his floppy hat, sort of hanging on to one of the ropes of the rigging and holding on to your arm. And he smiles and
Thanks,
says,
Conchabar.
"Aha! You nearly took a tumble into the drink, my friend."
That I did. You got to me just in time.
Well, I am just that good of a pirate.
Yeah, I've seen you in the rigging. You're like some sort of like super jumpy, swingy kind of fella.
Do I look good when I do it?
Well, absolutely.
Oh.
You're like the only one of us who does.
Oh, well, you know, if you wanted to, you could mention that to Rosie any time, and I would be much appreciated. Have you met? You've met Rosie?
I already did.
You what? Really? You already told her?
I told her I was impressed with like the way you do your job.
It makes me feel good to know that someone notices the hard work that I put in. And I mean, you, my fine fellow, have been quite, stepping up onto this crew. I know you seem to have taken a bit of a rough edge from those other two Naduels, but I mean, the rest of us, those that really know what we're doing, can see that you're quite the hard worker there.
I do like I work hard. I don't know like what I'm going to do up there once I've had a look around, but I'm sure it will work itself out.
Well,
have you ever had that job?
Well, yes. I just last week I was in the crow's nest, and it was mostly a quiet day. I did spot a whale or two. But
a whale?
Yes, a whale. Have you seen a whale? It's a large fish, very large in my opinion, because I am a rather small person.
Maybe we can catch it. If I see a whale, should I let someone know so we can get a fishing pole out?
Well, you should definitely let me know, and then we could maybe tell that Bartholomew fellow who he's done some fishing. I watched him the first or second day he was here, and he seems to be quite talented with a fishing rod, though.
He does. Yeah, he's mentioned that before. That he's good at fishing.
Yes, indeed.
Well, keep an eye out.
I think that he's the perfect to be a ship's cook's mate, because if he's so good at fishing, we'll never starve to death.
That's true.
Yes.
Better have a fish than nothing at all.
Yes. Well, when you're up there in that crow's nest, don't forget you're the first line of defense against, sea monsters and krakens, and also if you see any ships on the horizon or land.
Sea monsters? Are those real?
Well, of course. I've run my blade through many a ne'er-do-well sea monster that's come my way.
Like what?
Oh, well, there was this one that had 2 heads, let me tell you.
Like a netting? I've seen a netting before.
Yes, but this was a sea ettin.
A sea ettin?
Yes.
That does sound scary.
It was very scary.
Stroke.
I had to cut off the left head because it was a smarter head, and the right head was easier to deal with.
That is clever.
Yes. Well, I try to be clever. That's how I live my life day to day.
Good. And I've not forgotten that you promised to teach me how to use the sword I've got.
Yes.
It's snacks. So.
Well, we'll have to maybe talk to the quartermaster about getting you a nicer blade.
I mean, it's a hand axe. I would prefer a battle axe.
Well.
Because now it's bigger.
It's twice my size, easily.
See, and that's good. Like, for a weapon,
well,
you want it to be big. You don't want to, go at someone with a toothpick.
But I could kill a man with a toothpick if you asked me to.
No, really, come on now.
Oh, I could.
You're making that up. There's no way you kill a man with a toothpick. How would you go about doing that?
Well, I can't give away my secrets.
Oh, come on. It's just you and me. We're up here in the rigging. There's no one here.
No. It's, maybe one day, once we've trained you up, I can show you. It's just I don't want to give you a weapon that you don't want to use in the wrong way. What if you did it wrong and then the fellow that you were trying to kill didn't die? I mean, now all you have is a damn toothpick.
Yeah, that does make sense.
See?
Also, I might develop some reflexes, and then when I use a toothpick for the normal way, I'd accidentally kill myself.
Exactly, and you don't want to do that.
Horrible. Right? No, that makes sense. You're a smart man, Mr. Conchabar.
I mean, I do my very best to be as wise as I can be.
Yeah. Right. Well, thanks. I'll talk to you later then. I'll keep an eye out for sea monsters and whales and other ships.
Good. Sounds like an excellent idea. And don't fall out of the rigging. I'm growing fond of you, and I don't want to see you get eaten by a shark.
Right back at you, Mr. Country Bar. You just, keep doing what you're doing. And I'm sure everything will work out.
All right. Well, if you need anything, just let me know. And anything nice you say to Rosie, I appreciate. All right, then.
Right.
And you see him, like, swing down on a loose rope down to, like, the lower level of the rigging. You climb up.
Well, imaginary music plays because it's just that cool.
It is. And he's holding the purple hat so it doesn't fly away in the wind. So you make your way into the lookout.
Yeah, and I spent like the first hour of the day or so working hard, and then I get bored because there's nothing. It's just sea, right?
Well, roll me a perception check.
That does make sense. I'm bad at perception. Fun.
Whoa.
But I roll a 19, so it all works out.
So, looking around, especially with the use of the spyglass, you see that it is not just all open ocean at this point. So, off to the starboard side of the ship, you can see various islands are in view. A little bit distant, but there. Why don't you roll me a history check to see if you know what islands these might be?
Nope.
No idea whatsoever, but there is some land out there that you can see.
Is this where I tell you that there's islands over there?
Hang on a moment. He climbs up. What?
There's some islands right there. I thought we were in the middle of the ocean.
Let me take a look. He reaches over, takes a spyglass, kind of looks over. Ha. Yes, looks like we've exited the bay, and we must have headed a little bit to the west at some point over the last day or two. I believe that might be it's called a Dahak Tooth. I don't know much about it myself, but yes, we must. It seems that our heading is we're heading a little bit now southwest-ish. We were heading north for the first couple of days.
And now we're heading south.
Well, it looks like we're turning. Maybe the captain wanted us to clear the bay before we changed our course.
That's odd.
Well, a little bit, but
So do I like tell people that I've seen islands?
Well, I can swing down and let them know if you would like me to. Just mention it to Mr. Plugg that there's some land off the starboard side.
All right, you know what islands they are, so if that's all, if we're all we're supposed to be, that would be a big load off my mind.
Excellent. I can take care of that for you.
All right, thanks.
Yep. No worries. And he's like, keep an eye out. I think I did hear that maybe there's some drow that live on there. Maybe you'll see some through that spyglass of yours.
There's drow on the island.
That's the rumor. That's the only thing I think I can remember. I don't know if it's on the eastern shore or the western, so you may not see them at all.
I thought they lived underground. This is exciting.
Well, I know, isn't it? Also, I think there's a pirate settlement, so keep an eye out for those.
Gosh. Right, I'm reinvigorated, and I'll work hard for like 2 hours before I get bored because nothing ever changes.
All right, sounds good. So Antoinette, as you're down on the deck, you see Conchabar sort of swing down, land on the deck, and he makes his way over to the stairs leading up to the rear deck, and he says, "Mr. Plugg, sir, I have a report from the Crow's Nest." And you see Mr. Plugg stroll over, and he leans down and says, "What's the report?" Land sighted off the starboard side, and I believe we're, if I'm not mistaken, it's Dahak's Tooth. So Mr. Plugg just looks at him, kind of nods, and walks back over to where the captain's standing and leans in and whispers to him. As he walks by the parrot sitting on top of the cage where the skeleton is inside, it's like, "Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Hello. Hello." But Mr. Plugg doesn't respond to it. So, meanwhile, Bart. So, you make your way downstairs. You watched Miri kind of go into the quartermaster store, and shortly thereafter probably slip back out and walk away. The music has stopped for a little bit before it kicks back in. So you were in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And Fishguts is sort of moving some pots around and working more diligently this morning. And he looks up at you and he says, "Ha! Did you slaughter the pig?"
No, but I'll go grab it.
Ah, all right, yes. Go get the pig, and we got to get that killed and cleaned and cooking, so that dinner will be ready for this evening.
Aye, sir. Yeah, I'll go and get pig.
All right.
And I'm gonna use animal friendship, so I don't have to struggle with it.
Oh.
Bring it in. Yeah.
All right, so you use animal friendship. So what do you say to the pig to calm him as you bring him into the kitchen?
God.
Use animal friendship to slaughter the pig.
None of the pigs will ever trust your animal friendship again.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any choice. Oh, come along now, my friend. I'm afraid you're going to the big pig pen in the sky.
And it happily follows you, not understanding exactly what's about to happen to it, as the other pigs
That's
watch.
very, very, very sad.
So,
It'll taste great, I'm sure.
so I would,
Probably a good thing the cat's not around.
yeah. So I will need you to make me a survival check to slaughter and clean this animal.
I will. Oh gosh. And since I have my Jack of all trades now at level 2, I get a 1 to that, which is half my proficiency as well, so it's a 10.
It's a 10. Well, you do a decent enough job that Fishguts is not disappointed. There was a few minutes there where Fishguts looked like he was going to step in because you were maybe close to.
Oh, I've got it.
Mm-hmm. But eventually, you do get the pig slaughtered properly and cleaned, and between you and Fishguts, you put together this nice meal for supper, along with preparing a decent stew for the crew for the evening as well. And because Fishguts is apparently sober today, with his help, you see that you can kind of see the chef, that well-to-do chef that supposedly he once was, kind of come out in him. Like, just the artistry with the knife, the styling with the cooking. You haven't seen this before. Like, there actually is almost an art to his abilities in the kitchen today. It's pretty impressive to watch him today.
I was gonna say Bart probably very vocally admires his culinary artisanship, as a fellow master of the blade. I admire his knife work, stuff like that. I probably ask him some stuff about tell me about your time as a cook, stuff like that, since he's sober.
So he looks at you, he kind of says, "Well, I wasn't always a cook on the sea, I used to."
So you said.
Did I? Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
you did mention it.
I used to work in some of the finest restaurants. My skills were sought after all up and down the coast. But mistakes were made, and I made poor choices, and maybe my need to drink was a little too much. But sometimes I wish that I could go back and make other decisions.
Yes, you've not been very charitable to this ship in our past conversations. I understand. Especially now that I've been here a couple of days. It's not the best.
Oh, well, I told you the first day I think this place is poison.
Oh, well, yes.
It doesn't get much better the longer you deal with the poison.
Not unless you do something about it. It's true.
Yes, that's true. Hey, did you ever hear did I tell you the story about the time that I devoured an entire bucket of boiled eggs?
No, you didn't.
Yes, it was The Salty Swab. You ever been there, Port Peril?
I don't think so.
Well, they had this challenge. They'd give you a bucket of boiled eggs, and if you could finish them in a certain amount of time, you were like a legend amongst everyone there.
Well,
And I finished a whole bucket of eggs.
very impressive. I am something of a gourmand myself, so I might have to do that next time we stop in port.
Well, if you ever have the dime, you should try the lobster's armor, though the cook's not as good as I was.
All right. I'll make note.
Make sure you bring a heavy coin purse. It's not a inexpensive place to eat.
All right. Interesting.
You hear from the quartermaster store. What? Did I fall asleep? You kept me up too late playing, Martins. What happened? Where'd your friend go? Well, I thought he wanted to... Yeah, well, fine. He didn't want the other note. Okay. Well, why does my side of my face kind of hurts? I don't know. Keep playing. My head hurts. And you hear like a thump thump of like somebody sitting down on something. So after all of you spend your days either doing your tasks or not having to do them because somebody did them for you the day before, the evening comes and the bell sounds again, which means the regular work day is over. Tawny comes down from the captain's cabin, and she assists Fishguts in collecting the meal for the captain and the rest of his officers. She gives you a sideways look and smiles, and she says, "It's a good-looking hat.
Certainly is.
If you're ever looking to part with it, or if
I'll keep you in mind.
or if you die, I've got dibs."
Well, I won't complain in that case.
She picks up a couple of things, like a couple trays, and kind of balances them and heads out the door to go up the stairs. Martins and Cutthroat walk past, heading for the stairs to go up to the deck for the evening. And as Fishguts is walking away, he looks back at you, Bart, and he says, "Take up the stew and the biscuits for the crew, would you?"
Will do, sir.
All right.
And I will.
All right. So the rest of you are on deck, or where does Miri? Miri, do you come up to the deck when the bell sounds at the end of the day?
Of course. My job is done.
Excellent.
The bilge is nice and clean.
Having never even opened the door to the village overnight.
Don't worry about it.
All right, so you all make your way up onto the deck, and people are...
Actually,
Yes, sir?
I spent the day spying on the crew. Did I see anything interesting?
Oh, that is true. So, let's see. So, you notice, as you have a much better view of things from up above, you do know, and you've gotten this too from just days on the ship, but you can see it better from up here. Like, the captain, he does very little as far as dealing with anyone outside of Mr. Plugg. Occasionally, you'll see him talking to one or two of the other officers. Like once in a while, you would caught him maybe in whispered conversation with Pepperly Longfarthing, the sailing master with the crazy hair. And there's another gentleman that you really haven't had like a one-on-one kind of conversation with that's sort of up there as well. He kind of sits toward the back of the ship. He seems to be working on various little projects with like hammer, nail, and tools during the course of the day, but he just looks like kind of a short, raggedy human who's got...
And I can't figure out what he's making?
Roll me an intelligence check.
That's my best stat.
And by best, I mean worst.
All right, that's good enough though. It looks to you like, from what you can see, it looks like he's working on. Currently, there's smaller projects that he can kind of carry, and it looks like it's maybe like a locking mechanism for a door. Another one is like he's maybe repairing part of what looks like it can go on the rigging, but it can be detached so he can work on it. So it looks like he's using like some kind of mechanical and carpentry skills to sort of do this. But otherwise, there's nothing, out of place that seems to be going on today.
All right.
You do notice Antoinette made a very terrible looking pile of ropes over the course of the day.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
If I was there, I would say that.
This is true. All right, so.
All right.
So, Bart comes upstairs carrying a bag full of sea biscuits and a big old pan pot full of the ship's stew for dinner, and is quickly surrounded. Yes, it actually, for those of you who have been eating the stew that they provide, this is one of the better meals that has come from the kitchen. It's a good day for stew, and it's almost like a split pea today, so it's not too bad. And everybody kind of collects their bowls quickly and fills them up, gets their rum ration. You're each handed out a ration of rum. And then you can see everybody kind of splitting off to sort of go about their evening activities. And let's see. So you notice Mr. Plugg kind of came down the stairs from the deck. The other officers sort of head off into the captain's quarters this evening. Mr. Plugg walks across the deck and he goes downstairs into the lower deck of the ship for a moment. It's basically during the course of the time that everybody else is getting their rations for the evening. And as you...
He's never done that before, right?
You haven't seen him do that, no.
Yeah. Interesting.
And a little bit of time passes while everybody gets their food and settles in and starts eating. And you hear booted footsteps coming back from the door to the hold below. And Mr. Plugg comes back out, and he has a length of rope over his shoulder. And as he comes out the door, at the other end of the length of rope, you see Owlbear walking out behind him.
Uh-oh.
As he walks him out onto the deck and strolls across to the group that he usually is surrounded by, of the dwarf with the broken nose, the crazy-eyed murderess, the tall half-orc with the very silent tongue, and Master Scourge, all kind of grouped up near the rear deck of the ship. And he walks him over and points at a crate and pulls on the rope a little bit hard, and Owlbear kind of moves over and sort of slumps onto the crate. And you see Mr. Plugg turn around and start looking around the deck and lean over and whisper to Master Scourge, who also starts kind of looking around the deck. So what are you guys doing?
We're eating right now, right?
Yep.
So
Has there been any kind of chatter about a missing barrel of gunpowder? Not that Antoinette would know anything about that.
You can roll me I'm gonna say a perception check just to see if you hear anything about missing gunpowder.
Now, because I have a point of exhaustion, everything's gonna be at disadvantage.
Oh.
So that's going to be a natural 1 and resulting in a 3. I think I see the bottom of my glass, just about.
I mean, that is fair, but yeah, you do not. You're so just kind of worn out from your day's work that you try to kind of pay attention, but you sort of lose the conversations going on pretty quickly. So.
Alright, I would like to go over to Miri. I assume Miri is close by to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, hi.
Hi, Antoinette.
You seem to know a lot about gunpowder. What does it do? How does it work?
Well, It makes things go boom, and it burns.
So it would blow up the ship.
If you did something right with it, sure. It's not just going to blow it up just sitting there.
Have you used gunpowder before?
Well, we did have, some musket type things on my fishing ship that my parents owned, for killing some of the bigger fish. Small little, I guess, hand muskets, if you will.
Okay. Thanks.
I didn't use it much because that was really my dad's.
Alright.
Thing.
Okay, and with that, I sort of walk away. Because Antoinette still doesn't really know what gunpowder actually does. It's just apparently really bad.
Oh man, she's gonna try it just to find out. Oh man.
Not today, she isn't, but I think that's on her list in the future.
Oh God.
She is, however, going to go to the stash of barrels, the main barrels, and she's going to arrange them in a way that it doesn't look like there might be one missing. So, like, move them all to the front kind of thing.
Okay.
And create, like, a gap behind.
All right. So you, why don't you, when you go down, so Antoinette finishes her meal, talks to Miri, and then disappears below deck. Just roll me a sleight of hand to organize them in a way that nobody might notice. Oh, okay, nice.
Oh.
Even with disadvantage, that worked out well.
Yeah.
All right, so while Antoinette is below decks, so she slips away and goes down below. So Bart, Holt, Miri, and the rest of the crew, which sitting with you, Sandara is kind of sitting with you. Rosie isn't sitting with you, but she's kind of sitting nearby. Cutthroat is off on one side. She has conscripted Martins to sit with her and chit chat, and you see Mr. Plugg sort of has looked around, and as everyone's kind of finishing up eating and going through it, he sort of strolls forward and he says, I think my friend over here, and he points at Owlbear, he needs a bit of a workout. He's been stuck sitting below decks for a while, and I feel that he needs to stretch his legs, and I think that well, one of you three newbies, where's the others? No, Cutthroat like puts a hand on Martin's and slides him out of sight, like nope.
This one's mine.
Looks around, doesn't see Antoinette. Where's the other one?
She went downstairs.
Well,
Early sleep, I'm sure.
Maybe use the loo.
anyway, well then that leaves you three. I could choose, or you can choose. But I want one of you to give Owlbear a workout here.
I'd be more than happy to do that for you, sir.
So it's really.
Yeah, I like Owlbear, and I've been stuck in the crow's nest all day, and that's not exactly, a strenuous job.
I see.
So,
Then, well, here's the way this works. It's going to be a round of fisticuffs.
oh, like boxing. I think I've seen that.
Oh yes, like boxing. And I'm willing to throw down 100 gold pieces for the winner of the fight.
What's Owlbear gonna do with gold?
Well, if Owlbear wins, I'll hold on to it for him.
Oh, that's kind. Have you done that before? Does he have a lot of money?
Oh, he has quite a bit of money.
Nice.
But no magic hijinks are allowed in this fight. No,
Don't know any magic.
that's good. No assistance from anyone outside those fighting. Well, the last man standing is the winner of the purse of 100 gold pieces.
So if he trips and falls on his butt, I win.
Oh no, if you're conscious still, you're still in the fight.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that's a lot of punching.
Isn't it though? But look at those big meaty fists on Owlbear. I don't think you'll be conscious all that long, my friend.
All right, that's a bit much for a workout, but I guess.
You hear from behind and across the deck, Owlbear shouts, "Fishy! and points at Bart.
Hello, my friend.
Hello.
He
Such a good boy.
he waves. You see Mr. Plugg look questioningly back, like pulls on the rope. Albert, come here. Albert kind of stumbles forward. He's like, you're gonna knock him out.
Yeah, but not too hard, right? Because we're friends. We're just gonna, have a bit of fun.
Albert looks at you, looks back at Mr. Plugg, and kind of looks at the deck without making direct eye contact with Mr. Plugg, and then sort of like puts up his fists, and Plugg kind of takes the rope off the collar so that he's free of the rope, and kind of gives him a little bit of a shove towards you, and he's like, all right, first one unconscious loses. So Holt has to roll initiative.
So,
Yo.
before they do this, I'm going to slide, as they're getting ready, I'm going to slide over to the other side of deck, back behind folks out of sight. Just so I can see Owlbear, and I will send message to Owlbear.
Aww.
And say, Owlbear, you should sleep when he hits you.
Make a persuasion check.
All right.
Dang.
All right. Let's see. So, Owlbear, let's see.
Because he said no magic during the fight, not before.
It's true.
So, Owlbear kind of puts up his fists and sort of circles around you, Holt, looking at you, looks at his fists. And for one second...
How is the rest of the like? Is everyone in a circle, or are they just doing their own thing?
So as he starts to circle and his fists are coming up, people start putting down, like tossing down their bowls, and they start getting up. Like
Pirate fight!
Mr. Plugg and Master Scourge and their group kind of circle on the one side by the rear of the boat. The others kind of pull in. Sandara and Rosie just sort of stay where they are. They don't get closer. Cutthroat stays on the stairs with Martin's up on the front deck behind her. And but everybody else kind of starts to circle in. You can see like Jack Scrimshaw, like just past the mast, kind of hiding behind it, watching. You can see your friend there with the graying hair, kind of like looks at you a little bit concerned, like Owlbear probably has a reputation. And you see Antoinette pops back up. You come back up, Antoinette, just in time to see this kind of group forming around Holt and Owlbear, who are kind of like starting to circle around each other. And then Owlbear is going to step in and attempt to make a swing at you, Holt. So he is going to have disadvantage because he doesn't seem like he wants to hurt you. However, he does punch you. And he hits you for 4 points of bludgeoning damage as he balls up a big meaty fist and just cracks you. He looks almost startled by the punch. Like he wasn't expecting to get such a solid hit in with the punch. And then he like comes back and he keeps circling, looking at you.
All right. I take the. Wait, does that actually work? Let me check. That's an action. No. All right. I will take the disengage action and run away.
All right. Where are you?
Not to actually get away. I just want to give Owlbear a chance to, actually stretch his legs and get some exercising.
All right.
So I move to whichever point is convenient for him to, like, get a little run in.
All right. So as you put some distance between you, Master Scourge and the rest of Mr. Plugg's cronies are like, oh, boo! Boo!
I just want to give him a little, space to run. He's been down there all a fine day.
Hit him, Holt! Hit him!
And
Come on, Owlbear.
Mr. Plugg yells, punch out his teeth. And Owlbear looks back.
He needs those. I'm not gonna punch out his teeth.
I meant yours. And
I'm not gonna punch out my own teeth. That's stupid.
so Owlbear lumbers across back toward you, and he brings up the other fist, and he tries to punch you in the chest with his other fist. Does a 12 hit you, Holt?
I don't know. Am I wearing armor?
Well, would you be underneath your clothes?
I have leather armor on, which is normal. So I forget if that's the one it's counting. It says I have armor class 16. If that's true, it doesn't hit.
Okay, so he swings, and it brushes across your chest. You feel it just kind of cross the armor, but the armor, the padding, keeps it from really impacting as he brushes it across. And then he steps back again and brings his fists up in defense. Where's Fishy?
Hit him, Holt! Hit him!
I'm gonna punch you now.
Yeah.
And then I punch him.
Okay.
I should really have like a punch.
An unarmed strike.
Yeah, but I don't have it, so we'll just make do.
As this is all going down, what's the rest of the crowd doing?
So
That is a hit.
some of the crowd is jeering, some of the crowd is cheering, others are just sort of watching. So, like they're not entirely interested, but they're just, this is the entertainment apparently for the evening.
What is the damage of a fist? Is it?
It's 1 plus your strength modifier.
So it's 1. It's just 1. All right.
All right.
So it's 4.
So you punch Owlbear, and he flops down on the deck.
What the hell?
And
Alright, I would like to
yes,
cast Minor Illusion and start chanting with Minor Illusion, make a loud chanting kind of sound, and say, ho, hold, ho, hold, ho, hold. And I'm going to join in with that and sort of create a chant from everyone who's watching around. So, ho, hold, ho, hold, ho, hold, ho, hold.
roll up.
And so do some clapping and stuff.
Roll up.
I look at Mr. Plugg all confused, like, what's going on?
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Right, so that's an even out
Yep.
because advantage. Oh.
Should have used it at 20.
Right, I used a nat 20.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So you get part of the crew starts to join in, and then more of them, and then it's most of the crew aside from those that are surrounding Mr. Plugg and Master Scourge, and they sort of look around surprised. So Owlbear sort of hits the deck, and he's going to attempt to pretend that he is asleep because some voice in his head told him he should sleep.
Nat 1.
Let's see. Do you want me to use the
Nat 1.
All right, I'll use the nat 1.
No, actually, wait. You need an at 20.
Hold has no idea what's happening to him, basically. At this
I'm not sure.
point.
I'm just trying to figure out what you'd have
It's
to do.
everyday life.
So, actually, so this is what I was going to do, so you can tell me what to do. So, I was going to roll a deception check from Owlbear to pretend to be
It was amazing.
unconscious, and then I'm going to roll an insight check for Mr. Plugg to see if he
That's what I
believes
thought.
he's unconscious.
Insight is a nat 1. And
That one.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you to use a nat 20. That's your choice.
I think I'll burn one because I want to see how this goes. So let's see. All right, so
God.
The Plugg gets a nat 1.
he does. All right, and oh man. Yeah. So he stares in shock as Owlbear collapses to the deck, apparently unconscious from a single punch from Holt. And he just sort of stands there like...
I'm gonna run over and I'm gonna
I
take
continue
Halt's
to talk.
hand and I'm gonna lift it. I'm gonna say, "Ladies and gentlemen, your champion."
I get the minor illusion to go from chanting to cheering, very, very loud cheering.
So there's a hole, and then and Mr. Plugg walks over and hauls off and gives a kick to Owlbear, get up.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, I'll hurt him.
Oh,
He won't. Right, Albert. Swear. Don't take it out on Albert.
he won't even notice. He's already unconscious.
Oh, little guy.
Just out of interest, out of the main people on the ship, which I have heard talk, so we're under deck right now, correct?
You're on the deck of the ship, yes.
Oh, on top of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you know what? I want some chaos.
God.
Out of the major people here, who is not directly in the middle of the crowd?
Out of the major people, so
The higher echelons of the crew on the ship.
So, pretty much all the other officers went into the captain's quarters for dinner, so they're not even out here for this. So the only two higher ranked members of the crew are Mr. Plugg, who has currently kicked Owlbear and is standing over him, yelling at him to get up, and Master Scourge, who's standing a little ways back at the foot of the stairs to the rear deck, surrounded by the dwarf with the broken nose, the crazy woman with the knife, the dagger, she's sharpening it, and the big fat-bellied, bald-headed dude, and some of the others, the tall half-orc, jaundiced Jape.
Sure. Alright, what I'd like to do, I would like to cast minor illusion again. Somewhere off, away from the side, so from the edge of the crowd perhaps, using some voice I may have heard on the ship but unspecified, and go and make it shout, "We're under attack, there's a ship coming."
Alright. Why don't you roll...
Gods above.
Roll me, I will say a deception check, but I'll make it a straight roll because you're using the whole craziness of the crowd to kind of cover and throw them off. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. So you have a non-distinct voice yelling that the ship is under attack. This kind of draws up everybody's attention quickly. I
make sure that I look around oh my God, we're under attack, what the hell?
Mr. Plugg is about to land another kick. He's about to kind of kick Owlbear again. When
I'm about to block that kick.
But your yell sort of draws his attention up, and he spins around looking. And he yells, "Crow's nest, now!" And he looks around.
Is that still me?
I mean, you hadn't handed back the spyglass yet, so he is sort of looking in your direction.
I try to find Contrabar and see if I can hand him the spyglass.
All right, make a quick perception check to find Contrabar.
Perception. No clue.
You do not see the small gnomish figure, even with the floppy purple hat. You do not see him.
It's too small.
In the craziness of.
Looks like I'm climbing.
Make an athletics check to climb up into the rigging and get up to the crow's nest.
There we go.
All right, so you see Holtz goes up. Mr. Plugg runs up the steps of the rear deck toward the ship's wheel, looking around. Who crawled out? Where's the danger? You see other members of the crew. Some of them take to the rigging. Others sort of run toward the captain's door to knock, but it's already being flung open, as they must have heard. You see Peppery Longfarthing come running out, her hair singed and burned and sticking up. She runs toward the front of the ship, looking around, her hands in the air, muttering to herself.
What happened?
You're not really sure. She's just got a bunch of singe marks on her hair.
Oh, so we don't know about this. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Cutthroat has leaped to her feet and has drawn from her back. She's drawn a long axe, and she's looking around, keeping an eye out. And the captain and the other officers sort of pour out of his quarters, you see the master gunner and her gunner's mate Kipper kind of run out and run to the cannons along the side in case they have to get them ready. And the captain yells, "What's going on, Plugg?" as he makes his way up to the back of the ship. And Mr. Plugg says, "Someone sighted a ship. We're looking for it, Captain." As it is a bit of craziness going on right now as the sun is setting and it's pretty much almost completely dusk out here. So what are you all doing?
I look frantically around to see where this ship is attacking us from.
Why don't you make me? Well, no. Your deception check was good. You don't have to make another one for that. All right.
What is happening with Albert right now?
He is lying on the deck, still with his eyes closed, looking as if he's unconscious. As everyone is running around him.
I would like to go over to Albert, actually, sort of, whilst pretending to look around frantically, walk over to Albert and just sort of stand near him.
I'll be doing the same thing, but I'll be giving him my muffin ration and telling him he's a good Albert.
Good Albert. Who's a good Albert?
Without opening his eyes, a hand just opens and takes the ration, and he says, "Albert sleeping," and then he's like, "Oh."
Wake up now, Albert. Thank you.
He sits up a little bit on the deck and looks around. He just sort of pats Miri on the knee because he's down on the ground.
Nice.
Looks up at Holt climbing up, and he's like, "Ooh," and points at him. So, meanwhile, Holt, make a perception check to look for this approaching ship.
Okay. I'm going to use an advantage on this.
Okay.
Because I haven't even rolled, but... Well, it's a crappy roll regardless.
A ship.
All right, so you look through your spyglass out and around, and you do see near the coast of the island, you do see a ship out there along the coast. It's not very close, and it doesn't seem like it's currently heading along your direction, but there is a ship over there.
All right, I shout that down. There's a ship there. It doesn't seem to be coming towards us or nothing, but there is a ship.
And Mr. Plugg says it's not following our course and keeping track with us along the same course. He yells up to you.
I don't know how I would figure that out, but it's going that way. And I point.
Who called out the warning about the ship? And he looks around at everybody in the crew. Speak up. And the captain sort of looks around. You see his face darken a little bit. He leans into Mr. Plugg, and he says, and I think this would be basically Antoinette, Bart, and Miri that could hear it because you're on the deck, and he's sort of just on the upper deck above you. He says in a sort of lower tone but angry, "You need to get your crew under control. I've noticed a lot of problems over the last few days, Mr. Plugg. Don't make me rethink who I've assigned to this position." And you see Plugg looks down at the deck. You three can roll me insight checks that can hear this.
Sure.
Mr. Plugg said.
All right. So Miri and Antoinette, you just get the impression that Plugg is not sad, he averts his eyes because he looks absolutely livid, pissed off. He does. You definitely get the impression that he doesn't want to be embarrassed in front of the captain. This is really pushing on a nerve for this man. As he mutters, "Yes, Captain, I'll take care of this."
You shouldn't be a jerk.
And the captain storms back down the stairs and signals for his officers to go back inside the cabin. And he yells up to Plugg, "Keep a good watch out at that other ship, but I think we should be fine." And he storms back into the cabin and slams the door shut behind him. And Mr. Plugg's like, "Back to your duties! You stay up in the crow's nest. Keep an eye on that ship."
Again, I really question how the ship is run. They put people in the crow's nest. I'll give you a very important role, especially right now when there's supposedly a ship. And they put someone whose first day is right now in the crow's nest. I don't understand. I have so many questions.
So, you see Mr. Plugg takes Master Scourge back up on the rear deck, and the two of them sort of go to the far back corner of the ship and are sort of in quiet conversation, facing out into the ship and keeping an eye, but heads together, like low, quiet, from the body language, angry chatter between the two of them.
Well, I'm going to wander in their direction and say, I do believe that's 100 gold pieces.
As you're wandering, like as you get to the stairs to go up to the rear deck, the dwarf with the broken nose who's at the ship's wheel, he takes a couple of steps towards you, and he says, "Hey, you're not allowed up here."
I'm just collecting my gold for my friend Holt.
That's up to when he gets down from doing his job, then Mr. Plugg will pay him, but you're not supposed to be back here. Don't come up on the deck. It's forbidden. The parrot goes, "Forbidden, huh? Forbidden, huh?"
So then why are you allowed there?
'Cause I'm steering the ship, mate.
Is that why we steered towards that ship out there?
We ain't steering toward that ship. We're heading toward the south. We ain't going to go anywhere near that island.
Why not?
'Cause we got no business over there.
Don't we need supplies?
Not currently. We're only a handful of days out of port as it is. There's plenty of fish. Maybe there'll be one more fish in the sea if you don't do what you're told and stop asking questions.
If I had a fish for every time someone told me there was plenty of fish in the sea, that sea would be empty.
Remind me again. So the captain's quarters are off, or where they are all currently eating is off the deck, the top deck.
It's
right?
yeah. The doors into his quarters are right below the ship's wheel, at the back of the boat, in the bow.
All right. So, is there anyone really around there in front of it?
There's like the whole crew's on deck, and the other members of Scourge and Plugg's little inner circle are kind of grouped up toward that back section of the deck. That's sort of where they mingle in the evening. They look like they've pulled out some dice and they're rolling some dice currently, but they're sort of nearby the captain's door.
So also, I assume the captain's quarters has windows. Are there like any ropes or anything leading down to there?
So there is rigging that attaches toward the back of the ship, and the windows of the captain's cabin, if they're there, would be kind of off the bow there, at the back.
Are there any people around there?
There's no one currently hanging off the rigging toward the back, but it might be noticed if you're not careful if you try to go over the rigging to go take a look. You'd have to be sneaky.
Alright. Whereabouts is the pile of, in comparison to where I am now, where is the pile of ropes I so terribly collected earlier?
So your pile of ropes is actually on the opposite side of the lower deck, just near the door that you all use to go down below decks.
Now, because I spent time near the ropes today, I have quite good knowledge on how ropes sound. I would like to minor illusion of the sound of heavy thud of someone throwing a rope from the top of the ship down at that pile. So to basically make it a really loud thud that can easily be explained.
Mm-hmm.
As this happens and everyone looks around, I would like to go over the side and sort of just hang off the rigging and make my way towards the window. I don't know what they're doing.
So, you make a very large sound. Roll me a...
As I see her doing this, I kind of get an idea of what she's doing, and I start making a commotion with Mr. Plugg's minions and start talking to him about, you guys are cheating me.
Sorcerer teamwork, yeah.
All right, so why don't you... So Miri, if you want to roll me... Well, what's interesting for that? Do you want to do like an intimidation roll to like sort of get their attention?
How about a performance?
Oh yeah, I could do performance. I always forget about performance.
Yeah, not very good.
All right. I mean, you're drawing their attention, but they don't seem impressed by you, but annoyed, which does get their attention a bit.
Annoying is good. See, bad performances can work.
Meanwhile, so Antoinette, do you want to roll me? You can either roll me a deception, or if it's better, I'll let you roll with your spell modifier to make the sound very loud and convincing, since it is magic.
What you mean by spell attack bonus?
Yeah, I'll let you use that as like a...
Alright, that's a +5, so I'll definitely be
Alright,
using
do
that
that.
one. So D20 plus 5. Alright, so that'll be 18.
Alright, so there is a loud sound that everyone hears at the other side of the deck, which draws quite a bit of attention. Antoinette, do you roll me a stealth check to slip over the boat without being noticed?
This is not the best day to do this when I have disadvantage on everything. That'll be a 4.
That would be a 4, but they're going to have disadvantage to note if anybody notices you, so let's see.
It's not good.
A few eyes like follow Antoinette as she goes over the side of the boat and starts to go over the edge. Bart, you can what's your passive perception? You see this, I think. Yeah, she got a 4.
13.
Yep. So
I got a 4. You probably saw
you see her go over. Even Holt up in the crow's nest, you see Antoinette throw herself over the side of the ship and kind of go.
Not again.
I'm gonna like, since it's nighttime and we've seen this ship that was supposedly coming towards us and like this loud noise and stuff like that. I think Bart's gonna see Antoinette like doing whatever she's doing and go, I think everyone's a bit on edge. I think we might have been visited by a ghost ship. And gather round, friends, gather round. Let me tell you a tale that I've heard. And I want to like try and start, get Rosie and Sandara and some of the crew around as the chaos kind of winds down and like start telling a ghost story for everybody.
Do you want to make me a performance check?
Yes.
Please do that.
I will. There you go.
All right. So you start to gather them, and at first, like, Sandara looks over it with like a questioning look, though she also notices Antoinette's quick dive over the side of the boat into the ropes. But catching on to what you're doing, you see Sandara sort of quickly stroll in the direction of where Antoinette went over, and the one or two pirates who were going in that direction to sort of see what she's doing, Sandara kind of turns them around, and she's like, wait. Oh, you must hear this. It's quite the tale. I've heard part of it before. And she starts sort of like pushing them back. And she's like, Bismara will be very angry if you don't sit for this tale. This could save your lives one day. And she kind of pushes you, like, them all in a little bit closer. So, Antoinette, do me a favor and roll me an athletics check as you go into the rigging on the side of the boat.
Please don't fall.
Oh boy. This is fine. Everything is fine. I can I can swim. I'm a water-based one, so...
True.
I will point out you still have a couple of things up here in your in the
I know, I'm
overlay.
trying to work out if this is more fun.
Well,
What do I have again?
you have a natural 20, a natural 1, and an advantage, and also a healing potion.
The boat is gonna leave you behind.
You do realize as you start to sort of like lose your grip and start to think I'm about to fall that the boat is traveling at a decent
Alright,
clip.
the 20. I'll use the natural 20. Fine. Magically, I hold on.
As you start to lose your grip, and then you quickly hold tightly to one loose rope that manages to stop you from falling completely over. And you actually sort of end up dangling with you're a little bit upside down, and your head is sort of like your eyes are just down to where you're at like sort of the window level, though it's a little off and around the side.
I do like the sort of hanging, just quiet, Mission Impossible, like just rolled down. I'm just like, just hanging here for a second. Now, am I, with my head hanging upside down, close enough to the window to hear what they're doing? This is where the window's shut or something, but, yeah.
The window is open, though the ship is making quite a bit of noise here, but you are sort of caught up in the ropes where you kind of twisted over and could like pull yourself along to get close to the window.
Alright, please, I'd like to do that.
All right, so you pull yourself in closer. Do you want to make a stealth check to try to be sneaky?
Absolutely.
You'll have advantage because the noise of the ocean and the ship here would probably cover your...
I would like to use the other advantage. I have to actually make it an advantage.
Oh, nice, okay.
So, 15, please.
All right, so you pull yourself in close, and are you just going to try to listen or try to poke your head in and take a look?
I will start off by listening and evaluate the situation.
All right, so you pull yourself in, and you immediately can hear the captain's voice, and it kind of carries through the window pretty well, even over the noise. And he says, "We're making decent time. I thought that keeping out to sea and heading further out would be the best choice before heading south. If we keep at this course, hopefully we'll be able to sail down, skirt the slithering coast over the next few days and get ourselves out into the open sea down by the Fever Sea. But I'm hoping that once we hit the Fever Sea, we'll run up a few of the merchant vessels that come out of Blood Clove and Sargava. I'm not sure exactly how long that will take, depends on the weather, but it's important that we stay more to the south and head back up north. Haven't had as much luck up north lately. Plus we have to get these new crew members in line. We're still short-handed and can't afford to lose anyone, though some of them are apparently getting on Mr. Plugg's nerves, and he's hoping to replace them as soon as we can find more personnel. And you hear, well, as long as you don't need me on deck during the day, I'm just working away at my experiments, Captain, and you don't have to worry. Won't have the same mistake as last time, and the door won't have to be replaced again. He says, Peppery, yes, your experiments are useful when they're not blowing up my ship. Well, you know. But I do need to pick up a few things the next time we can hit a port, if that's possible. Just a few things, if possible. Or if we find them on another ship, then, sir. And,
Do you recognize the voice?
yeah, it's the crazy woman with the burned hair. You all had that one run-in with her when she popped out of that little room the other day, when Martins was raiding the ship's collection of weapons, and you hear another voice, and this one is a female voice, and she says, Captain, I I did another inventory of the weapons and things like that, and unfortunately, I've come up short on a cutlass, which seems to be missing. It was there last time I checked 2 or 3 days ago. Now, so it seems we have somebody with sticky fingers on board. And the captain says you'll have to bring that up with Master Scourge and Mr. Plugg and see if they can root out the thief. I don't want thieves on my ship. Already had to keel haul that one the other day. Maybe this time, a day or two in the sweat box. I'll suggest it to Mr. Plugg myself when they find out who has it. Says, well, and in a few days I'm planning to take the new recruits and have them practice boarding maneuvers. I'm going to have us put down anchor and take out the dinghy, and we'll give them some work as far as line work and rope work and crossing while under attack and things of that nature, if that sounds like a good plan. And the captain says they need to be ready as soon as we hit the shipping lanes. I want them ready for their first raid. As soon as we meet up with another ship, we're going to need all hands on deck. No one can sit out where everyone's involved. Everyone needs to pick up the pace and deal with the tasks. Yes, sir. Well, we'll have them ready. I'll make sure that Kipper gets things organized ahead of time. And so just a little more conversation like that going on. They're discussing various plans for the ship and things like that. How long do you hang out?
I'd probably hang out for a little bit longer. And then I'm gonna make my way back up and go back over the railing back onto the deck.
Okay.
Like, I want to have a quick look before I get to the very top, sort of going, is there anyone really obvious there? And then just go back over.
So just roll me another athletics check to pull yourself back up on deck.
All right.
I will have wandered back along the deck to where she went over.
That'd be a 6.
Providing some cover and a hand if she should need it.
So you do know, Miri, you see Antoinette struggling and getting herself more tangled up in the rope and not being able to pull herself free. Do you want to try to pull her up?
Absolutely.
Go ahead and roll in athletics. Both sorcerers.
Yay!
Yes. So as you almost fall out of the rope, as you tangle and then all of a sudden come loose, you are quickly, your hand is caught at the last second, and Miri is above you on deck and helps.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Antoinette.
Thank you.
Come on back up. And
We're
tell me,
gonna-
what did you find?
Well, we are going to have some dinghy exercises soon. We're going to practice, apparently, on how to raid ships.
And led by whom? Don't say Mr. Scourge.
Who was it?
So you recognize the voice as, let me make sure I get the right one, the Master Gunner. She was the woman with the dark skin, nice big curly dark hair. She wore like a bandana around her head, kind of had a serious face about her, tall, slender. Her name is, wait, it was right there. Ruris Crine.
Is she the one who asked me to carry the gunpowder barrel? Yes, the last session.
That was the assistant master
Kipper.
guy.
Kipper asked you.
Right.
So Kipper was the small human man
Right.
who had you carry it up for him.
Kipper's boss is going to run those drills.
Yes,
Oh.
that's what it sounds like.
Then maybe we'll actually get somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, like apparently we're meant to be ready in like the next few days before we hit some sort of shipping lanes.
Oh. Did you hear what shipping lanes?
Slithering Isles? Slithering... I've never been too good with place names. Fever Isles. Slithering Lanes. Slither...
So
Yeah,
Jeanette,
that's-
would I know this based on my history of working on fishing boats with my parents?
Roll a history check for me, and you're gonna have advantage.
Not that it helps much.
All right. You do. You have heard a little bit. you know that vessels tend to avoid the slithering coast. There's various dangers and things for vessels that get too close along there. You also do know the trade lanes that move between the Sargava area and the Mwangi Expanse and Blood Cove. So those are like the major trade lanes in the Southern Sea south of the Shackles.
Okay.
So
I'll pass that information on to Infinite.
Yep, it definitely tracks. Like those are real locations along the way.
All right, that sounds fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Should we tell the others about this?
I'll of course tell the others about it.
Cool.
That's maybe a poll. I don't know about him. He might blab to Mr. Scourge.
That is true. Let's not tell Hold. Sorry, not sorry, Hold. So, Jeanette, would I know from my limited knowledge about the ship so far where Burned-haired woman lives?
So what you've noticed, you've only really run into her like real close face to face that one time. In the officer's cabin, underneath the front deck of the ship, where the stairs are that you all use to get down below decks, there was, if you're facing the door that goes out onto the main deck, there was a small room to the right that was where all the ship's weapons were. And then when Martins was in there and Holt caught him and you guys were kind of making a bit of noise over in that direction, off and to the left, behind where the stairs go down, there was another door, and that door flew open, and Peppery Longfarthing, with her crazy hair and everything like that, sort of burst out of that little room. And there was, some noises and things coming from inside, though you didn't get a good look inside. And then after she kind of like admonished you about making noise, she ducked back in there and slammed the door shut.
So she's living in the cupboard under the stairs?
Apparently.
Okay. What I'd like to do is I'd like to sit across the deck and sit on like some steps or whatever, just casually chilling and all that, and watching the main door of the captain's office, like the captain's quarters, to see and wait for her to come out.
Okay. At some point, Holt, Conchabar climbs up into the crow's nest and says, "I'm going to relieve you, sir."
Well, it's kind of you.
Well...
You ready? You worked all day. Are you going to work all night as well?
Oh, no, I'm just going to stay up here until the night shift takes over. I like a good night breeze. It clears out the old lungs and gets you away from the smell of the ones that don't think that they need to bathe on a regular basis.
Hey, was it me, or was that whole fight and then all the cheering and the weird ship that we couldn't fight? Was that weird to you?
It was extremely strange, honestly.
Right? I couldn't see a thing.
The last handful of days have been rather odd. Many a strange happening I've noticed myself.
No, me too. It's like, I punched Owlbear, and I don't think, I'm pretty strong, don't get me wrong, but I don't think one punch could have felled a fellow like Owlbear.
Oh, well.
I don't think one punch could have... It's weird.
Well, I'll say this much. I mean, don't underestimate your abilities, my friend. You, maybe you are just that talented, and, Owlbear, maybe it was just his time. Someone he needed to come up against that was going to take him down. But...
You think so?
I mean... you never know where your talents come from until maybe. When's the last time?
I guess that is true.
I mean, how often do you fight with Fisticuffs? Perhaps this is your secret hidden special ability.
I don't do a lot of fighting at all, so perhaps.
Well, perhaps we should find some time to start working on your sword training.
We should, yeah.
Indeed. We'll start maybe tomorrow. We'll find some time. Maybe in the evening after work's done. We'll
That would be grand. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll have to make sure we're somewhere where Rosie can see me, and you have to make me look good.
But I don't think you need help doing that, right?
Oh, you are a charmer. Thank you very much. You're right, but it does help.
We'll get it done. Don't worry.
Sounds good. Well, you should get yourself down from up here and... I think I smell rain on the... yes, a rainstorm may be on the way. Do you smell that?
I don't know what rain smells like.
Take a deep breath. Yes, you smell that? How when it's a nice sunny day, you can. It's mostly ocean, but there's something else on the air tonight. Yes, I think we may be coming into a bit of a stormy weather.
Well, I hope it's not like a real storm with like. Because I hear boats sink when there's a storm.
I think we'll be fine. I just think maybe we've had a handful of nice days. I mean, we're due for a bit of showers.
Hey, can I ask you advice about something?
Of course.
So, like, right before this fight started, right? Mr. Plugg, he said like that he was going to put 100 gold on whoever won, which means he owes me 100 gold. Should I actually go and ask for that?
Of course. A man is only as good as his word, my friend, and he does owe you...
Because that man is a psychopath, and if he gets upset with me, like, that's not what I want.
Oh, no. I would say he said it in front of the whole crew. I think as long as you, you do it in a way that doesn't offend, he's got to stick by his word if he wants the rest of us to follow him. You can be quite the... kind of the asshole, if you mind me saying, and still keep your crew in line, but when you start lying to them and keeping their money, well, I mean, it's every man for themselves at that point. Even a pirate's got to have a code.
That is true, yeah. I mean, you've got to pay people. If they don't get paid, why are they doing this?
Well, exactly. That's the whole point of this is I'm here to tone my skills and to make some money. So if I'm not going to get either one of those, then I'm going to go on to the next. I'll have to, leave in one of the ports in the middle of the night and move on to my next gig, as it were.
That makes sense. 100 gold is more than I've ever seen.
Well,
one plate. You actually have 100 gold. That's so much fucking money.
Well, that coin purse sounded quite heavy when it hit the deck, so I think that you're...
I'll go check.
All right, I think that you're looking at being a rich man tonight. So next port we land in, I think that you're buying.
Oh, I'm not keeping 100 gold. That'll get stolen or I'll lose it. I'm just gonna get my battle axe back, because that thing's sentimental, and then I'll just give it all away or something.
Well, I'll be you know where to find me, my friend.
I won't forget about you.
Oh, thank you. All right, get yourself back down to the deck, and I'll probably see you in the morning.
Right.
Take care.
And I climb down and I go find Mr. Plugg.
He tips his purple hat as you go down and then puts it back on his head.
Yeah, I would do that with my helmet, but it's a little more complicated.
As you get back down to the deck, Bart is wrapping up his ghost story, and with a big, and he said, "And you who murdered me shall be cursed." And can Slippery Sill, the lady who threatened Hulk, can she make me a wisdom saving throw?
Okay, she can. There we go.
As I say that, right next to her ear, there's a whisper that echoes what I just said. "And you who murdered me shall be cursed."
How does an 8 sound?
Oh, that's a failure.
Oh, wow.
So she's gonna take 15 psychic damage.
Yikes.
And she runs as far as her speed allows away from me.
So as Hulk gets the deck and Bart finishes his story, Slippery Sill stands up, clawing at her face for a moment, her eyes bugging out. She screams, and then she falls face first onto the deck and hits the deck and stops moving. And I think we'll stop there.
What the hell?
Oh my
ending.
god.
Just murdered someone.
Ghost story that I knew.
Oh my god.
All right, so we will end there with Slippery Sill face planting to the deck.
What spell did you say that was?
Dissonant Whispers.
The Whispers. I'm gonna read up on that.
And so why don't we? Does anyone have any plugs today?
There's a Mr. Plugg.
There's a Mr.
There's a
Plugg,
Mr.
sure.
Plugg.
Who might get plugged?
I've got a few. Like I'm still on Margaret Cohn's charity game. It's on hiatus for a bit because she's on crunch time doing lots of like game design stuff. I'm not actually sure what exactly she does, but it's on break. I do this, which is amazing, and soon I'm going to be starting up a Masks game where I'm playing it, which is going to be super fun. It's going to be on Welcome Party RPG. Play a superhero called Lance, or Intervention Boy, and he doesn't want to be a superhero.
What's your superpower?
He is a legacy, which means he's and I put him in the suite of powers that's like Wonder Woman, Thor, so divine. He's super strong, super fast, and unbelievably handsome. That's godlike beauty is what it's called.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not exactly excited about that one, but the other one didn't fit. But it's gonna be fun because he doesn't want to be a superhero. He's just doing it because of like social pressures and like people.
I love it.
I can't wait to play that game. It's gonna be so fun.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to it. I've got to remember to watch it because I want to see this one. All right, and Dylan, do you have any plugs?
Yeah, usually on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time over on twitch.tv/PowerScoreRPG. Jeanette and I are in a game where we're currently going through the new Acquisitions Incorporated adventure, Ori of the Wanderer. We just got our new franchise after defrauding Acquisitions Incorporated, and maybe inadvertently killing Viari, who's one of the members of the
He's had a good run.
Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, I'm sure that'll go just perfectly.
I'm innocent. I swear I had nothing to do with his death.
I mean, none of us did, technically speaking. It was the succubus who kissed him.
I have a bad memory of a succubus. in the last game, Jeanette. Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan at all.
I'm sorry.
Lucky by our fun.
Yes, and my character did not die last session. I was cured of the ghoul gut that I was suffering. So
Thank God.
I am still alive.
We didn't get to take her on the minecart roller coaster though.
No, but it's in process. We're gonna build that ride. You'll
We're
see.
gonna get there. Yeah.
So,
Right.
and how about Brad? You got anything going on?
Oh God, no! I'm just recovering.
We hope that
That
it's
makes
a
sense.
speedy recovery. That's what we're looking for, speedy recovery. And how about Kat?
I also don't have any other streamed games, so this is my only streamed game. So yeah, no plugs from me. Just curiosity about where all our shenanigans will lead us.
No, your name is Kat. You can't have curiosity.
You know the whole sentence to this. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back.
It's true.
I absolutely can have curiosity.
It's true. All right.
But yeah.
So, with that, we will come back in 2 weeks to find out what happens.
What will happen?
What will happen in this moment?
Who even know?
And
Someone just died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems
When the
so.
captain said not to, we can't lose anybody.
And hopefully we will have Martins the Bard back, though Cutthroat may not be willing to relinquish his talents that easily. So yes, we'll be back in 2 weeks at the same time on this channel for our next session, and look for probably some other stuff I want to do here. So we're trying to get some one shots together and stuff.
Yeah, one shot.
Regular work has been crazy, so it's been a little lull, but it's working. It's getting a little bit evened out. So, but thank you guys, all of you. It's been so much fun again today, and hey, moving out of day 5 maybe and into day 6 next
Yeah.
session. So we'll see what happens. And smells like rain. So, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for the people who hosted, and thank you for hanging out with us. And everybody, take care and have a good week. And we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.